Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor here. Hopefully having an amazing day as per usual. You guys know the drill by now. Today's video is actually going to be based off a question that I got off a recent question and answer that I did on my Instagram. If you didn't see that or you missed that, you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. It's just Connor Healy _. It's actually in the highlights just under Q&A, and you can go look at all the questions and the answers that I did just yesterday, or the day before. I can't really remember now. But nonetheless, I got asked a really good question. I answered it on there, but I wanted to make a longer form video talking about this more in depth because this is a question that I often pondered quite frequently, considering I wanted to start my business regardless after getting into high ticket sales, because it's something I explored for years up until I actually found high ticket sales and then delved into working with a mentor and actually got success with it. I always wanted to run my own business, but I wasn't sure how. I wasn't very successful at it, and I knew that I needed to pick up a skill that's going to enable me to build one, which is sales, essentially, right? Now, the question that this amazing person asked was something along the lines of, once you get good at the high ticket sales, once you get good at the skill, you've been in sales for a while now, right? You've not mastered it, but you've become quite good at it or quite great at it. And you're wondering, what is the next step for me? What's the next step for you watching this video, right? Well, I have more than a couple of answers for you since I have done most of the things that I'm about to list off. Because a lot of people go, cool, like high ticket sales, that may not be the be all end all for most people. In fact, I don't think majority of you watching this will basically sell for your entire career, whether or not you work with me or somebody else and helping you get involved in high ticket sales. I think unless you're obsessed with high ticket sales like I am, I love sales. I think it's, a very interesting game. I think of it as a psychological chess, if anything. And I quite enjoy it. I find it very entertaining, and I get a huge kick out of it because I think it's really fun. It's a funny skill that gets paid a lot of money, right? I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends, Adam, who's actually, basically was managing for a very, very big company. I think they were approaching 8 figures. And he's extremely good at what he was doing. And we actually had we caught up for the first time in person after meeting nearly 2 years ago, training together in a training course and program. And we're having a drink, we're having some food for dinner. And we were just absolutely babbling on about how obsessed we are with sales and how it's super hilarious to be a nerd, but a nerd at sales is an extremely rewarding pathway to go down rather than being a nerd at anything else, because being a nerd at getting people to pay you money is extremely rewarding. So nonetheless, let's talk about, once you get good at sales, what's next, right? First thing that you can do is sales management. Now, yes, it's still involved in sales. Yes, it is still in that career trajectory. But the thing with sales management, because myself, just for some context, back when I was 20 years old, I actually took a company from, it was a real estate investment company, for about $120,000 in cash collected per month with 2 sales reps. I came in as a 20-year-old sales manager, fired one, hired 3 more people, and took the company from 120 to 350K in cash collected in the space of about 3 to 4 months from memory, right? With the same amount of leads the original 2 salespeople had. Very rewarding, as you can imagine. Now, I was making about between $15,000 and $25,000 a month, again, as a 20-year-old. Surprising, I know, for some of you probably to hear that, but it is absolutely possible. I know very young people in the high ticket sales industry that do extremely well for themselves, and they earn more commissions than you could possibly imagine, right? But nonetheless, that sales management role was actually really good. I went back into sales afterwards because I decided I want to go back and sell and wanted to work with other companies. But it had a lot of leverage, right? I only had 1 sales management team meeting per week. Maybe I converse with a business owner here and there over Slack, which is a communications platform for those that are unfamiliar. And it was very highly leveraged, and yet I was making $15,000 to $25,000 per month, which was pretty rewarding considering it was super leveraged. And at the time, I actually was working on another offer, selling a business opportunity. So I was making pretty good commissions, as you can imagine, every single month, working part-time on another offer, selling, and part-time managing, which technically it was a full-time job managing, but it was very, very leveraged. And I got paid a lot of good money to do so, because all the actions that I would do, reviewing sales reps' calls, doing this, doing that, it was all leverage actions that, again, would compound, right? The better the sales team gets, the more that I get paid, because I was on a commission-only basis, right? If they sold above a certain threshold, I would get from X percentage to X percentage, right? So really what this does, guys, is it gives you more opportunity, more potential to leverage your skills to take you a lot further than if you were just one-to-one selling. Now, you can make a lot more money selling than as a manager, right? Keep that in mind. But in a management position, it's just a lot more leveraged, and I guess your time goes a lot farther. You don't have to spend a lot of time one-on-one on calls. You can actually just, again, consult, train, and support the sales team that you're managing on top of, right? So that's sales management, right? 2 is leadership positions, right? So sales management is one thing, but then there's also leadership positions, right? That might be certain positions in the business that require a very, very good level of understanding of sales, right? Like, for example, a chief sales officer. I'm not sure if that's the correct title. I may be incorrect. I may be wrong, but that's okay, right? Just like a chief finance officer. I don't really know corporate terms, so forgive me if I'm wrong. I apologize. But again, there are upper leadership positions that, again, require a really good understanding of sales depending on the company. So there are, in some corporate circumstances, a lot of opportunity to get in these upper high level roles that are going to pay, in some circumstances more than the sales role if you're not commission only. And again, are just a lot more leveraged. I've never done this myself personally, so I don't have a lot to talk about on it, but it's just something for you to reference and understand as well. Number 3, which is what a lot of you guys probably want to do at the end of your cycle of once you have got reasonably good or maybe great at sales, which is create your own business. I have 2 circumstances and scenarios of to where this has worked extremely successfully, right? So let's take a look at starting a marketing agency. I did that back in October or November or December, I can't really remember. In about the space of 3 to 4 months, I went from 0 to 40K a month in monthly recurring revenue in that short time frame, 3 to 4 months. Why was I able to do that? I didn't do a single bit of delivery. I outsourced that to my entire team internally, right? Actually outsourced that, to other contractors. But the only reason I was able to scale to nearly $500,000 a year in run rate, this is not just in a single month, this is recurring revenue, right? The bonus of running an agency is that you have recurring revenue and you have people that continue to pay every single month if you are good at what you do, right? And I scaled that in such a short time. But the only reason I did that was not because of my delivery. Well, my delivery was good, but it was mainly because I could sell, right? I was in a program of hundreds upon hundreds of agency owners that spent 10,000 USD to be there, by the way. None of them could surpass 10K per month. In fact, most of them couldn't, right? Most of them couldn't get any results because the idea of the program was to help people book in more calls. But the matter of the fact was, not a lot of them could even sell, right? And that's the one thing that you cannot replace. In any company, upwards to $50,000 per month, unfortunately, my friend, you're probably going to be on your own, right? Outsourcing to a salesperson way too early is a very, very immature move to do in your business. It's totally inappropriate. It doesn't make any sense for you to do so. You need to get good at sales yourself. I don't care what anybody else tells you. This is coming from a sales rep that has worked in 8, 10 plus companies at this point. You need to learn sales and get good at it yourself before outsourcing to someone else. And so basically, once you get good at sales and you're great at sales, transitioning to start your own business is a wise move if you want to do so, because trust me, everything else can be fixed. You can go work with a coach, you can go work with a mentor that tells you, cool, here's how you get leads, problem fixed. Here's how you hire a team, problem fixed. All this type of stuff. This stuff can be fixed, but your sales skill, you yourself cannot be replaced, and you have to get good at it. And this is where most coaches, most online business owners, service-based business owners, get tripped up because, again, they try to do everything else, but focus on sales because it is hard, right? It takes time to learn. But if you have been selling for 1, 2, maybe 3 years, just like I had, 4 years, the point when I started the business, it was like a walk in the park. Really, really easy, right? And same example for the RSA. We've grown to some amazing levels purely organically from the YouTube channel and word of mouth, right? We actually do better than a lot of other guys in the industry just through the YouTube channel and word of mouth for a very specific reason. Because not only can I sell, that's one part, right? But something that you guys have to understand that when you translate the sales skills to starting your own business, if you've worked in other companies, you can observe what has worked. Team and operation structures, finance, marketing, sales, delivery, all of that you can get first-hand experience as to what works and what doesn't. And over the correlation of 4 or 5 plus years now of experience selling full-time, I've worked for 6-figure, 7-figure, multi-7-figure, 8-figure, and I've even consulted with 9-figure companies, and I've gotten to see the inner workings of what makes a business successful. And these skills all translate and transmute over to when you start your own business. And that's why almost every salesperson I see that starts a business that has been selling for 1, 2, 3 years do extremely well and are extremely successful. So again, like I mentioned before, sales is not the be all or end all. There are other things that can make you money at the back end of it. And that's why I think sales is such a great skill to start out with, because you can make a lot of money. You can be very successful in what seemed like a short amount of time, but it's because you learned the skills necessary to scale a business and make it successful, learning from other successful businesses and other successful practices. All right, 2 more ways that you can basically do once you've finished getting good at sales, right? The second last one is sales consulting for equity, right? So again, guys, you have to understand, sales is the living, breathing oxygen of every single business. It is the lifeblood of what keeps that business operational, right? Not just operational, not just surviving, but also thriving, right? I don't care what anybody else tells you. Yes, marketing is incredibly important, absolutely, but sales is just as important in my opinion. It's a to and fro relationship, right? So if you are good at consulting, if you are good at sales, right? Not a lot of people are actually good at sales because they don't do it for long enough, right? And it's very evident in my industry, right? Very, very clear to me that I can see that. You can walk in to multi-6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure businesses, 9-figure businesses, whether or not they're coaching businesses, service-based businesses, or they're more traditional, they're more corporate. You have the experience, you have the knowledge, you have the know-how to sell yourself into these packages, and you can consult for equity, right? Which is big money. By the way, if you take a certain percentage of a business and it blows up and it does really well, you're going to get paid out a lot of money, my friend. So that is one other idea that, who knows, potentially is something that I might do in the future. Last one is sales agency. You've probably seen some of these guys around. It's a pretty good business model. I think for me personally right now, I think it's a bit chaotic. If you don't know what a sales agency is, let me explain to you right now. Sales agency basically looks like this. You've got the founder who then gets a bunch of clients to sell for. Let's say it's an Amazon business opportunity that's doing 100K a month with their current sales team and they have one sales rep. They want to scale to $1 million per month, right? They need more sales reps. They need more efficient sales processes. They need all that type of stuff. You as a sales agency, you come in and you consult with your team that you have internally, and you're basically like a sales team, a sales executioner team, killer, special forces. I don't want to put it that way. Not that cool. But you are sales reps for hire, and you come in internally like an international sales team. You swoop in, you do all the sales, and then you eventually jump out, or you continue working with that client in the longer term. The sales agency typically takes about 20%. sales reps get 10, maybe there's appointment setter gets 5, and the sales agency gets 5% on top for managing the whole process. Sometimes they have a retainer fee, things of that nature. So that is definitely an opportunity that I think can do extremely well, because I don't think there's a lot of good sales agencies out there. And yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity and room for improvement there. Myself, personally, I might consider doing that in the future. Who knows? Because we have some amazing people that are training with us inside the RSA. So I can basically pick the very top best talent inside of there and get them on some amazing opportunities. And so it might be something that I work on in the future. But for right now, I'm very happy with where the RSA is at and what we're doing there as well. Super, super cool. Very lean team. Amazing support. Guys loving it. We're getting some amazing results. And I only want to improve on that before we scale. So I'm just going to keep focusing my attention on that. So with that said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I think that would give you guys some of a fresh perspective. It's not something I've spoken about across the 70 plus videos now, like how you can make money after high ticket sales. And considering I have some experience in some, not all of the opportunities that I just mentioned before, hopefully I can talk through some experience and give you some insights to what you can potentially do in the future. Sales is not just a full stop ending, right? But it is one of the most highly leveraged and best skills that you can learn starting out doing anything in life, in my completely unbiased opinion. But I think sales, yeah, it's definitely the best skill to hit off from the get-go. So hopefully having an amazing week. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.